All right, welcome into the latest edition of the second half draft show. I'm your host, Juice, joined by Headley and Drew. And we are in workshop mode here. It's the 2024 summer scouting. We're getting prepared for the 2025 draft. As you know, if you're not familiar with the show, uh, we're year round. We're year round with our NFL draft coverage. Of course, Headley and Drew were focused on the Big Ten last week, getting our summer scouting really kicked off. And then we're going to move on to a few more squads here. We got the Texas Longhorns, LSU Tigers, and Oregon Ducks on tap. Shout out Mr. C. Prassi. What's happening? Al Paul was good. All right. Got the full crew, full crew. First time here in summer scouting. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going, get you guys primed for the college football season. Again, as I mentioned previously, a couple weeks ago, we got a lot of great things in the works coming along. And I'm going to be really excited about unveiling some of that stuff here in the coming weeks as well. So stay tuned. Gentlemen, where do you want to start? Talk to me. Where do you want to start? We hadn't actually had a lot of conversation about the prospects for these teams leading up to this stream. So I'm really intrigued to hear what you guys' thoughts based on what you've studied thus far. So any particular team you want to start with?
I'm looking at the Oregon Ducks right here, man, because
Yeah.
I'm looking at this roster. That offense is loaded. You know, they might have the best trio of wide receivers in the country. New quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. And to me, he's kind of like the left-handed Bo Nix. They kind of do the same things. You know, they're safe with the football, very accurate passers. So, you know, I don't think they're really losing too much from Bo Nix to Dylan Gabriel. So I think this offense is loaded, and they're moving to the Big Ten also. So, you know, we're going to see how the West Coast team acclimates itself to the Big Ten. So, you know, it's very interesting, the Oregon Ducks football program right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think though, well, I'm gonna disagree with you just a little bit. In terms of Dylan Gabriel, I think he gives them more of a chance. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna give them more of a chance to be a little bit more dynamic and getting the football down the football field. Right. I think Bo Nix was a little bit more conservative. You know, and a little not gonna say scary. He just didn't take a lot of chances, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think Dylan Gabriel. I think
call that man scary, bro.
I mean, I haven't said that word in a while. He wasn't scary, man. But I, you know, I ain't said it in a while. But he just didn't want to throw the football down the field. Now I'm not gonna kill nobody. I'm not gonna unalive anybody if they decide to throw it to the guy that's open. But I think there were times where you could have taken some chances, and he didn't really do that. And so I think you're getting a little bit more from Dylan Gabriel from that in terms of going down the football field. And he's got weapons to do that. When you talk about Evan Stewart, when you talk about Tez Johnson, I mean, they got some guys on this roster, man. There's going to be no excuses. We talk about Ohio State in the Big Ten. There's going to be no excuses for Oregon in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cleared out for him, right? So Washington obviously makes it to the championship game, beat Oregon twice a season ago. A lot of their studs have now moved on to the next level. So it really is a great opportunity here for Oregon to make their run, right? You know, you guys talked about Ohio State, how loaded they are, a lot of returning players, a lot of draft prospects that decided to go back to school, incoming freshmen, transfers, they're loaded up. I wonder what are your thoughts just in terms of overall talent? You know, how do those two teams stack up in your mind?
Oof. That's a good question, bro. You gonna maybe pull back up the roster for Ohio State?
You
You're talking about Ohio State and Oregon?
Yeah. Like I mean, obviously, you know, you guys talked about it. Of course, I watched the show. You guys said it. You know, it's championship or bust in Ohio State. Is it the same? Do we have the same type of expectation here with Oregon?
Although I do love the transfers they bring in, I think the transfers for Oregon, you know, it's going to tell the story for them, especially on the defensive side of the football. I think that's where Ohio State, man, they're loaded on defense and offense, so they're loaded on both sides of the ball. I think Oregon's offense is ready to go. It's just about these transfers and what they're going to bring to the Oregon defense. So that's why I have Ohio State a little above Oregon. So I don't have them neck to neck, but, you know, getting a Jabbar Muhammad Jamari Caldwell along the defensive line. So those are some of the guys that they brought in the transfer portal. And if these guys could get it rolling and gel on the defensive side of the football, then it's going to be a big showdown between those two football programs.
Well, let's talk about some of those defensive prospects here in Oregon. And Headley, I'll let you start it off, man. Who do you want to talk about? You want to discuss first regarding draft prospects?
You got to go to the corner, right? You got to go to Jabbar Muhammad. This is CPGM's guy. I decided, man, if we all like a guy, it's gonna be all our guys, man. Let's not fight over guys.
Wow, that's what we doing. Okay.
Listen. There's entertainment value in the fight. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But Jabbar Muhammad, transfer from Washington. Right here at the top of my notes, I got, it's my type of cornerback because of the swag and the confidence. He's one of those corners that has a lot of swag, a lot of confidence, very short memory. If you get him one time, you're probably not going to get him the second time. I love his ball hawking nature, how he attacks the football in the air. They played a lot of zone at Washington, but I think he could be a good man corner also. I think he does zone and man pretty well. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jair Alexander, who was our cornerback one a couple years ago. I think Alexander was a little more physical than him. I think that's the area of improvement for Jabbar Muhammad. He's not a guy that's going to really mix it up with the blockers. He's not the biggest guy, but a corner like this with the ball hawking nature, I'm okay with business decisions. If you're nice like that and you can get your hands on the football, business is okay with me. But like I said with Oregon, moving to the Big Ten. Now you're in the Big Ten. Teams are going to run the football. They're going to get more physical with you over there. So I just want to see how he holds up in the run game, in the Big Ten. But, he runs, like I said, he ran a lot of zone coverage. The break on the football is real. The click and close ability with Jabbar Muhammad, he puts his foot in the ground, attacks the football in the air. And it's a play against Xavier Worthy. I think everyone knows this play by now. He ran step by step with a 4-2-1 guy, turned his head, used the sideline as a defender, and knocked the pass down. So, speed is no concern for him with Jabbar Muhammad. Very fluid hips at the cornerback position. And like I said, tracks the football really well down the field. So he got everything I like in a cornerback, the swag, the confidence, the ball skills. It's just about the physical parts of the game now. He's a little bit limited as a tackler. I just got to watch that. And he gets a little too grabby down the field sometimes, causing pass interferences. So, it's just nitpicking right there with Jabbar Muhammad. But, I think he's an outside corner. He's a smaller guy. So maybe you think, move him into the slot. But I don't think his physicality matches up as a slot corner. So I like him as an outside corner, like a Jair Alexander for the Packers in the league, man. That's my comp for him right now.
Damn, bro. I don't know if I need to say anything else outside of saying that's actually my guy, not our guy.
Yeah, I know Juice will fight with you on that one. Y'all was before me. I'll say that. Y'all had him higher than me, but I like him too, man. He's a heck of a corner.
I've been on him since Oklahoma State, man.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And he's kind of grown on me, and I think he could have came out that year. I think, what is he? Is he a fifth year senior? I'm not even sure. But him transferring over to Washington, man, you just kind of seen him I guess for me, I wouldn't be burst on the scene, but maybe that's kind of where people started to pick up on his name, and it was kind of surprised that he didn't come out this year. I'm trying to think of what cornerback he would have been in this class. Maybe cornerback 3, maybe 2, maybe slide into something. But the look at that, the brother's smooth. We always talk about using that sideline, that extra defender to help you, man. He's smart enough to know I'm just gonna squeeze him down, bro. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. I'm just gonna push him out, and it is what it is, right? Like Ellie said, turns. With the nice hip, the Shakira's, get his head around and get his hands on the ball, or I'll leave it there. I'm about to jump off the ledge. I'm gonna leave it there.
Jump off the ledge, man.
I think obviously there are more people who are aware of Jabbar Muhammad now, right? There clearly are more, but he still has a lot of room. And we talked about this. We've mentioned this actually on air before, but we had the conversation with DP Damian Parson of Locked On Podcast Network, friend of the show, Shout out DP. Hope he's watching. We all agreed. We were talking at the Senior Bowl. We all agreed. It was like, bro, why did you go back to school, bro? Like, but you know what? And maybe from the media. I don't know how the NFL felt about him, right? But from the media perspective, there seems to be still some people in the dark on him, right? It's still not necessarily bought completely in on him. So I wonder if that kind of calculated into his decision to go back to school. And of course, with everything that's happening with collegiate sports, and of course the wins that college football has had from an antitrust perspective and everything, he's still gonna make his bread. He's still gonna make money. You know what I'm saying? So he certainly has an opportunity to really to even further bolster his roster. We consider him a first round caliber player, right? We would mock it today, right? Not necessarily getting the grades, but as we would mock it today, he would be among the first 32 selections. You understand what I'm saying? But I do think there's still some people who are a little slow on the uptake as it relates to him. Maybe it's because, played for the Huskies, West Coast, the left coast, you know how that goes, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I would imagine, again, not knowing exactly what factored into his decision to go back to school and ultimately transfer to Oregon. But I do believe, from my assessment of things, the media isn't fully bought in on Jabbar Muhammad, but he's a special talent, man. And oh, by the way, Drew, that short has surpassed the Jalen Carter short from a couple of years ago, right? The big hit that he had against Oregon, by the way, in the opener a couple of years ago. So that particular play against Xavier Worthy, some people believe it's pass interference, and I thought it was good coverage, bro. You know what I'm saying? The defensive back is entitled to his ground as well. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think he certainly has an opportunity to continue to bolster his strap stock for sure. Who else on the defensive side of the ball here in Oregon?
Let me slide this guy in here. Number 0, bro. Agent 0, Taisheem Johnson. Nickel. I'm not sure if he's a nickel safety corner or he's not a corner, but he's a nickel or a safety guy who plays down in the box. We talk about Jabbar Muhammad not necessarily being the best run defender, right? Well, this guy is all about that. At one point, I wasn't even watching him. I was watching Jordan Birch, and they were going against Oregon State. Oregon State, them boys, they're gonna run the football, be physical, all of that. And this dude's in the box, and I'm like, what is he playing? Like, because he was physical, matching up against tight ends, going against tackles, guards swinging around. He's taking them on, bro. Kind of working his way through and always being able to get to the running back or whomever had the football, man. That short to intermediate game, you can't miss his number, man. He's all over the place, left to right. I wonder how they're going to use him because there's a couple of guys that we might talk about here that, I know one in particular that we were going to talk about here later, but I wonder if they're going to keep him in that nickel position role, or if they're going to move him, push him back to safety because he played a little free high safety, single high safety, excuse me. He did some work there, but I think his living is going to be at the nickel position. He is a guy who's going to get physical with you. He's going to reroute you, get his hands on you. And if he's going to play the zone coverage, he's going to use his click and close to close out the space between you and the ball. And he's probably going for you and not the football if you're that receiver trying to catch that ball. So I think he would be excellent going up against tight ends, man, because of his physicality and willing to mix it up.
It's such a coveted skill set as well, right? With the proliferation of 11 personnel, obviously 2 linebackers, passing league, your third linebacker becomes your nickel defender, and the ability, the physicality to come up and make tackles, take on lead blockers, tight ends, so on and so forth. It's a mindset as well. And then, of course, be able to actually hold up in coverage. It's such a game changer. You know what I mean? That nickel position, I know the boundary corners get the big money because, of course, the explosive plays generally come outside the numbers, man. But that dirty work those nickel defenders do, to me, it's just so highly coveted. Teams are always looking for those type of players on the defense. That skill set is indispensable. So certainly will keep an eye on him. Who else you got, Headley, on this defense?
Drew mentioned him, Jordan Birch. the transfer from South Carolina a couple of years back. Him and Brandon Dorlus, those were the guys on the defensive line last season. Physical guy, he has a lot of experience. Like I said, he's a former 5-star guy. Played some ball at South Carolina. Was there last season at Oregon. So this is his second year, I think, at Oregon right now. He's a power edge, utilizes his strength in the run or the pass game. Very aware also. I love when he gets his hands up in the passing lane. He could drop back in short zone if you want. But, guys, like we say, we like them going forward. We like guys, pass rushers going forward. But if you want to get cute with him, he could also drop back in zone. Very aware doing that. And that two-hand swipe move, that chop move, man, I love it, man. He's a physical guy. He uses his hands. He disengages from the offensive tackles, and he gets to the quarterback. It was a game against Washington. That's the Oregon State game. So, he does his thing in the run game. He's very excellent in the run game as well. But the game against Washington, I wanted to see him match up against both of those tackles, Fautanu and Rosengarten. And he kind of abused Rosengarten a little bit in that game, man. Knocked him back, used his power, knocked him off balance quite often in that matchup. In Fautanu's matchup, he battled him, but, Fautanu had the anchor. He couldn't really beat Fautanu with the power. Fautanu did a good job with his anchor in that game. But with Birch also, he's a guy that, you don't have to just rush the passer because he does have to work on some pass rushing moves. You don't have to just rush him off the edge. I mean, you can kind of use him on the stunt game as well. He does that very effectively. He can get to the quarterback, going from the end to the tackle position and finding those creases to get to the quarterback. And he's a freak, man. He was on the Bruce Feldman freak list. So he's going to be one of those guys that, light up the combine with just how strong he is and how agile he is. The areas of improvement I have here for him is, he had a low sack total. So he's not making the big time production, getting to the quarterback, getting the quarterback on the ground. He causes a lot of chaos and havoc there, but he's just not getting the sacks. And he's not one of those bendy pass rushers with those fluid hips and those contorting ability. He's not one of those guys, Will McDonald's, BJ Ojulari's, guys like that. He's more physical. And I think he also could play a little better leverage. He's a little upright at times. So I think those are the things he needs to work on. But, if you're looking for one of those physical edges, think of Braylon Trice last season. I think this guy, Jordan Birch, could be a guy for you.
Get in there, Drew.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of said it all, man. He is a power edge. He's all about speed, using that speed to power, or like I like to call it, the spider attack that he does have there. And you talked
Just
about in terms of
that
his
guard.
Yeah,
I mean,
Oregon.
It's disgusting, bro. It was disgusting, bro. And he did that all game, man. He was. I'm not gonna say the game record, but he was causing problems for him. He didn't make it easy for those guys, and he was kind of the guy to me that shined over. I think Dorlus made some plays too. Can't leave him out, but I think Birch was the guy for that game, and just looking at him, you're like he's on the cusp of something, and to kind of round him out. He's got to develop some more pass rush moves. Everything can't be power, right? You're going to have to figure some things out. I think this is the year for him, right? You talked about, his swipe and his hands. I think he has that, but we gotta see some moves go use from A to B to C to D, right? Let's see
chain
some
him.
things.
Got to chain
him up. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably his next move to get that done. But from a power edge standpoint, from a being stout on the edge, holding the edge, and his ability to get down the line laterally, his movement laterally is pretty damn good too. So, yeah, man, any team would love to have him with Jordan Birch. I know that's one of D-Kid's guys. So I figured, let me go take a look at him because I remember him from South Carolina. Just wasn't sure what he was doing over there for Oregon. And yeah, he's next guy up, bro. Dorlus is out, Birch is in. Let's go, bro.
I thought Dorlus and Birch were going to go crazy, bro. I thought it was going to be lights, camera, action, and I think obviously they played well, but we didn't get sheer the dominance that perhaps some of us would have liked to seen from Birch, considering how highly touted he was. Playing on a defensive line that includes a Brandon Dorlus would free him up, give him some additional opportunities, and while there's obviously a lot to like, it didn't all come together. We just didn't see it on a consistent basis. And as you mentioned, both of you mentioned, he's gotta get a little bit more. He's got to get better effectively from a pass rush perspective. It can't just be bull rush. It can't just be I'm going to turn this speed into power. There has to be some moves, as you mentioned, Drew, chaining them, some counters. You understand what I'm saying? Understanding how to attack the offensive lineman. And I think that's where Brandon Dorlus obviously cleared him. Dorlus had a plan. Dorlus had a wide array of moves. He may not necessarily have had the same kind of explosive physicality, although Dorlus is as twitched up as anybody in terms of interior defensive linemen or even edge rushers at that size, right? But just in terms of the technical savvy and ability, and like I said, the bevy of pass rush moves in order to consistently affect the passer, that's what we want to see from Jordan Burch this season. And anybody else on this Oregon defense you guys want to note this evening?
A couple other guys in these transfers. Jamari Caldwell, I think he came from Houston. Physical guy on the interior, and then the name that's familiar to me here is Brandon Johnson. He looked like he's going to be the nickel guy, so I'm not sure him and Tysheem Johnson that you mentioned earlier, but they got him here at the nickel corner. Brandon Johnson from Duke, so I remember him in the ACC. So I think both of those guys are names to watch also.
I think also too, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just gonna call him Mateo Yu. Is that DJ U's brother?
It
I
may
think the
be.
sophomore.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
I think they're related. I think they're related.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw some. I just can't remember if his brother, cousin, not sure what it was. So just wanted to throw it out there. Keep an eye on him as well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that offense. How do you mention it at the top? Really talented trio of receivers, perhaps the best trio in the nation. You bring in Dylan Gabriel. So of course you lose the experience, the polish, if you want to call it that, with Bo Nix. Of course, he was a very steady hand, made the plays, he was efficient, protected the football, helped his draft stock clearly being a first round selection. You couldn't have convinced me of that, bro. Going back to the Auburn days. I've said that before. I've said it before, bro. Like even what I saw in Oregon, I thought, oh yeah, he'd be a good day 2 pick, but he goes in the top half of the first round. Dylan Gabriel has an opportunity here to help himself. I don't know that he has the same traits that a Bo Nix possesses, right? From a draft prospect perspective, but we expect this to continue to be a very good offense. Powers Johnson, of course, he goes up with the Raiders. Best interior offensive lineman, in our opinion, entering the 2024 draft. What remains of that offensive line group, a very good group, is still very competent, very effective. We'll get a sense of where their draft stock lies. So with the changes, despite the fact that they changed, no Troy Franklin, no Berkey Irvin, no Bo Nix, we still expect this offense to be pretty potent. And why is that? What do you think is the calling card? Who are the mainstays that we view as 2025 NFL draft prospects that folks need to pay attention to here in Oregon?
It's the wide receivers. Evan Stewart. Everyone knows that name. A former 5-star guy. Quick feet with his release at the line. I think he does need to get a little stronger, be more physical. So at the next level, with press, corners, man-to-man corners, I think Mike could give him some problems. But I love his ability to make tough catches in traffic. Very good concentration skills. He's a quick twitch route runner. He creates separation at the top of his routes. He does that time and time again. He's got to stay healthy. Battled some injuries so far in his career. Stay healthy. I think he'll have a nice, productive season. He does have that inside-outside versatility. It's easy speed with him, man. Right there, contested catch situations. There goes the release that I spoke about earlier. Very, very good feet at the line of scrimmage. And after the catch, that's kind of where he shines. He could juke move without losing speed. He tracks the football really well down the field. I'm gonna throw a name out there. The vibes that he gives me is Jordan Addison from USC and Pitt. He gives me kind of his vibes a little bit. He's also a willing blocker. I think the areas of improvement with Evan Stewart, I think he's more of a body catcher sometimes. I think he'll drop a couple footballs. So you just gotta focus in on that. I think that's an easy fix for him. And though he's twitchy, I think route running, I think he could still be a little more refined. He's an excellent route runner, but I think he could take it to another level as a route runner. And like I said, he may struggle against press, especially when his feet doesn't create that separation off the line of scrimmage like we saw in that earlier clip. If a corner could get into his chest and press him, I think he got to get a little stronger there. But this is a guy right now. He's a 5-star guy, but Tez Johnson, bro. I'm gonna Drew jumping on Evan Stewart because he's the big name, but Tez Johnson is special, bro. He's special.
I wanted to take Tej Johnson, bro.
All right, get him, bro. But he's special, bro.
Nah, Tej Johnson is special, man. I was watching some tape on him, man, and sometimes when you're watching the tape, I'm just trying to write my notes down, trying to figure out some things, and you come across plays, bro, where you're just like, really, like, so. Posted on Twitter on the Cos Potato General Manager Twitter account, right? It's first play of the game, drops the pass, drops it so bad it's an interception. I think they're going against the Cal Bears, California, if I'm not mistaken. My man proceeds to catch 12 passes for 180 yards. I think he had 2 touchdowns. Right, just get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing, man. He's not that big. I think he weighs about $160, maybe $165, soaking wet. But he's got some speed. He's got some juice. There was a play. It was 2nd and 37. Bro, we ready to punt, bro. We ready to just punt, bro, and touchdown. I don't know what the defense is doing. I don't know what they called. I think he has the total package in terms of the receiver skill set, but he may not necessarily have the requisite size from a height standpoint or a weight standpoint that you want. Obviously, you can always throw on more weight, and I think he's the type of guy you could put on a little bit more weight, and he's not going to lose much, right? So I think just look at the movements, bro. It's nasty. It's nasty. It's disgusting. Man, put his foot in the ground and make you miss, make you look silly. And I think we can talk about Evan Stewart, but I think we're going to be talking about Tej Johnson when it's all said and done, bro. I really do.
No, I agree with you. That's exactly how I would sum it up. Evan Stewart's the big name, the 5-star guy, but what Tej Johnson does in the slot, man, it's ridiculous, man. He's not the biggest or strongest, like you said, but after the catchability, he's going to make the first guy miss. He has that return ability that we saw in the earlier clip. So once he catches the ball in space, he's going to make that first guy miss. He works primarily in the slot. He uses the motion, that Oregon quick passing game. Just get the ball to him in space. But he also wins as a route runner in the middle of the field. His hands is really solid. You could get open against man or zone coverage, which is really well because, some guys, they're just better against zone and then they struggle against man. I think Tej Johnson can handle man or zone with his separation ability, and he finds the holes in zone defense really well. And he just has a different gear. It's a different gear in the open field for him. That yak ability is real. And I got another name here. Tell me what y'all think about this.
D-Jax?
No,
that one. I guessed.
I call him Slot Tyler Lockett, man. Slot Tyler Lockett. Think about Tyler Lockett in the slot, bro. I think that's what he gives you. With even more yak ability than the Tyler Lockett. More juice.
Does he have the gold glove though? Does he have the worn and tracking ability though?
We saw a clip. We saw a clip he just put up. He tracked the ball over his shoulder. He doesn't have it like Lockett, but I think what they do on the football field, I think it's similar, man. You put Tyler Lockett in the slot and he could beat man, he could beat zone, he could catch the football, he run after the catchability. I think Tej Johnson he's just a smaller guy. That's the only knock I have on him. That's the only negative I have. It's just he's not the biggest or strongest, but very excellent route runner, man. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think this is the drop right here, right? Most guys, would have been affected. He just didn't bring it in, man, right? And they proceeds to torch them boys. Was celebrating like the game was over, bro. The first play of the game, bro. What are we doing? Need y'all to calm down, bro.
Hey, we got him off the field, bro. We got to celebrate, bro. We got him off the field.
Yeah.
And then,
and then he locked in.
Lit him up.
Then he locked in.
Then he locked
in.
Yeah,
I see fearfully confident, always with the thought-provoking questions. Does McMillan out of Arizona have generational potential? So obviously we're not talking about Arizona, but since we're talking about the receiving position, Pac-12. I certainly understand where Philly confidence coming from. What do you think about McMillan here, Drew? Is he on that generational trajectory in your mind?
I don't think he's on a generational trajectory, but I think he's going to be. I can see why. I mean, I have him at receiver 1 right now. He's got he surprised me because guys his size, that dude can move, bro. That dude can move, and because Arizona kept peppering him with screen passes. I'm like, oh, get this man down the field. Let him run down the field. Throw a ball up. Let him go up and get it. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody commit pass interference against him because he's so big and strong. But then, a couple times, first couple catches, it was kind of 2-yard gain, no yard gain, and then the next 3 or 4, he just kind of broke tackles, kind of ran by people, kind of made people miss, and I'm like, okay, I see it. They're trying to get their playmaker to football. And so when you talk about guys that big, you're usually thinking, okay, that's a guy that's when it intermediate to deep, right? No short stuff. Now he's doing the short stuff. He's doing the intermediate stuff. He's doing the deep stuff. His ability, that catch radius, when we talk about bigger guys, he's got that catch radius that you want, right? And he can go up and get it one-handed, two-handed, make guys look silly. I think he may be the total package at the receiver position as of right now.
Yeah, I saw a comp on him on the X, man. They comped it to Mike Evans. What you think about that one,
bro? So I'm gonna scroll down to my notes. All right.
Yeah,
I say he's a leaner Mike Evans is what I have, bro, as a comp. And I don't do comps, bro.
Yeah,
but it's his ability to just the way he catches the football. It's very similar, bro. But he's got better yak ability. That's the one knock against Mike. I think we'll always have, but I'll take it. I'm a Bucs fan. I'll take it.
Yeah, we out here, Joey. We out here. It's summertime, so might be a little spotty in terms of the full group, man. But we out here, summer scouting it. Anybody else on this offense you want to discuss?
Yeah, but we could talk about the 2 tackles in a little bit. But there's another receiver, Trayshawn Holden. Because I said they might have the best trio of wide receivers. And Evan Stewart and Tej Johnson's the top 2. But I think Trayshawn Holden has some potential as well. He's an Alabama transfer. He's the guy that has the size speed combo. Tej Johnson and Evan Stewart, more maybe on the smaller side, but this guy's big, he's fast, he could run through tackles, he could run by guys with speed and power in the open field, and he has that big playability. He's not the natural route runner like these other 2 receivers on the team, and he's not a separator like these other 2 guys, but he provides them with the size, the speed, and the power. So he's another guy to watch on this Oregon receiving staff.
Good combination. A really good combination of kind of pick your flavor. We talk about the receiver position all the time, and they done a good job of kind of assembling that with at least those 3 guys. So can appreciate that. Everybody can't be 6 foot and under, bro. We gotta have guys that can can win on the boundary with a little bit of physicality.
You need some front court guys. You need some rebounders, bro. You need some shot blockers, bro. I hear you. You know what
I'm saying, this ain't college back in the day. What was that team back in the day, bro? In the March Madness, they had a bunch of guards, bro. Can't think of it.
Oh, Villanova, man.
Yeah, there you go. This ain't Villanova, bro. Yeah.
Alan Ray, man. Remember Alan Ray, bro?
Alan Ray, bro. Alan Ray, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. There's been some amazing names throughout the history, bro. College basketball. I mean, it's pretty interesting in college football as well, man. But I don't know if y'all know. You know what I'm saying? North Florida. Grew up in North Florida. FAMU had a pair of brothers that played guard, bro. Their names were Scientific and Majestic Matt, bro.
Ooh.
Come on, bro.
Ooh, that's different. That's colorful right there.
Bro.
Listen.
They were balling. They were balling. They were hooping, bro. They were hooping, bro.
Only black people, bro.
Well, you're not wrong about that, bro.
At least it was something you could spell, bro. You say the name, you like
scientific,
but at least you can
scientific and majestic, bro. Yeah. Telling you, man, was out there filling it up. All right, let's talk about these tackles from Oregon. Bookends.
Yeah, you got Johnny Cornelius, the right tackle, and Josh Connerly Jr., the left tackle. I'll start with Cornelius. He has the ability to get into his optimal position, square guys up. I think he has a really good base and anchor to keep pass rushers neutralized. I think position is very important for him because it's inconsistent. It's a little spotty at times because when he's not in the right position, he could get beat. But if he's in the right position, he can hold up. Because when he locks up with defenders, he can keep the defenders engaged. We always talk about defenders getting disengaged from the tackles. Well, he's a guy that has those vice grips and he can keep them engaged. A lot of experience at right tackle, and he was an asset in his Oregon run game. I think he's more powered than a fluid mover. And like I said, the areas of improvement, I think position is key for him. Sometimes he could get frozen because of his lack of movement ability and agility. So the defenders catch him with that crossover move, and he could be flat-footed at times. So that foot speed and that outside hand, those are the two things I had on Cornelius that needs a little bit of work. Those pass rushers that get to the apex of the pass route, you got to have that foot speed and you got to have that outside hand. We talked about that a lot last season with Fuaga. I think Cornelius had the same issue there. And I just want to see him activate his hands more consistently. Just get it up, get it stronger. And I think he'll be fine. And then you got Josh Connerly Jr. He's a left tackle. He's a guy that he fires out of his stance. He could get momentum moving forward in the run game. He looks to have good size and length to keep defenders off his chest. I like that he leads with his hands, but sometimes his hand placement can improve a little bit. And in the run game, he gets after it also. He has more movement ability than Cornelius. He can get to the second level and attach there. So both of these tackles, I think they should go, within the first maybe 3-4 rounds of the draft. So definitely guys to watch on this Oregon offensive line.
Yeah, you kind of said it, but I'm gonna reiterate and throw a couple more things in there. Is it a Genie Cornelius? I said that right? I don't know if I said that right. Let me try it. A Janie. I think it's a Janie.
Bro, we got the whole cycle. We got the whole cycle to get the
get it right.
Well, hit me with the phonetics in the comments. But we're gonna go a Jenny Cornelius 6'5", 308. I have him as more of a more of a power tackle, especially in the run game. I think he's more of an absorber. He looks more comfortable doing that in terms of taking on blows and then being able to kind of lock up, like Ellie was saying, in terms of being engaged and not allowing guys to disengage from him. I thought, though, if he's able to get his punch out early and get at you too, he could get you there too. So I think he can kind of do both of those. But he looked more comfortable with just guys, taking on that first initial blow at the point of attack. I got here, quick guys will get to him. Like Helly was saying, in terms of the apex of getting to that pass rush, it's going to be a problem for him because there were times where he just stopped, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and the guy went
Jonah
right
Alex
around him,
getting
right,
yeah.
And then he's trying to reach and grab, and it's already too late. So it's and these are the things when we talk about it. Can you fix these, right? If he's able to fix this, where can he go? How high is his ceiling, right? And so I think he's a little bit more limited than his counterpart over there at left tackle. But I think he could be a guy, bro. He could be a guy. Just got some stuff that he's got to tighten up, refine, you know what I'm saying, in terms of those feet. I don't know if he can fix, his movement ability all the way. I don't know if it's something that you could turn and fix that all the way, because that may be a limitation for him. I guess we'll find out soon enough. But for Josh Cornerly. I got to work through it, guys. I got to work through
Connerly,
it.
bro.
Connerly? Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. Connerly. Appreciate you, bro. That's all we hear. Thank you. I got nice feet, movement ability in the pass pro, passes blocks off very, very well. You're not going to be able to play games in front of him. He's gonna get to you, slide you over, move you over, get to the guy that thinks he's free, and get his hands on that guy and kind of lock that guy out. I thought for him, though, hands are late, bro. I think this is where he got into a lot of trouble. Hands are late, and what happens when them hands are late? He was getting pushed back, bowled over. A couple times he fell to the ground, or he's his hands up being too low or his hands end up being too high, right? Just depends on what's happening in front of him because the hands are late. Not sure what he's seeing that his hands aren't getting there. Headley, you said you thought he was, kind of got after it in the run game. I thought a lot of what he did was in terms of the run game, if he was able to reach you, because I think they asked him to do more of that than anything else instead of guys, that are lined up directly in front of him. It was more of kind of go left, go right, reach a guy and seal a guy off. I thought he did that very well. He got after it, but if it was a guy standing right in front of him, I thought there was really no movement there. He didn't move the guy that was in front of him. And I thought he lacked a little bit of aggressiveness when it came to that.
Yeah, I think with Connerly, technique. I think his technique needs work. He has potential, but he kind of forward leaning at times. You can't block what you can't see. He dips his head, he ducks his head sometimes. But if he could fix that technique issue, I think he might have a higher ceiling than Cornelius on the other side.
Yeah.
D-Kit checking in. You know what I'm saying? I had daddy duties. I had daddy duties last week.
Still gotta get held accountable, bro.
I mean, I guess. I guess, bro.
No mercy around here, bro. We don't run the clock, bro. You got to go through all the minutes, bro. We don't run the clock.
Man. Oh, man. Anybody else?
Anybody
else on this Oregon offense?
We talked about Dylan Gabriel in terms of, I think for me, he's going to give you more juice. I thought, he was a guy that the longer a play went on, I thought the better he got, actually. He can do the timing and rhythm thing, get the ball out 3-step, 5-step drop. But, he's a guy who's, I thought he was damn good in the pocket, right? Was really never rattled. And I know that Oregon lost their center, and that's a big piece in terms of that offensive line, but they still got their 2 tackles. And I think that it's just going to be plug and play, and they just continue to do and block it up. And I think there's going to be a lot of damage done, and have we talked about in terms of those 3 receivers, there's going to be a lot more damage done in the pass game this year than I think the run game, because I think Gabriel is going to go more down the football field, and he is supremely confident and comfortable in that pocket, even when things are going awry and he's got to move around. His eyes are down, and he is a dude that will take off. You give him a little bit of space, he can take it, bro. He can make you miss, man. He's got that Jordan Travis in him in terms of kind of making you miss, kind of slipping you. You can't quite get him to the ground type of thing. So, yeah, man, Oregon's probably gonna be a problem in the Big Ten, bro. More than I think Michigan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too. And Gabriel in that Texas game, man, we're looking like Steve Young out there, bro. I'm like, look at Steve Young, baby Steve Young out there, man. But yeah, he has a trio of wide receivers. I'm expecting the same thing Bo Nix did. To be honest, I'm expecting a lot of short passing games, guys in space, run after the catch ability with these wide receivers, and even the running back, Jordan James. Bucky Irvin is no longer there, but James does his thing in the passing game. He can catch the football as well. So, Dylan Gabriel has a plethora of weapons, running backs, wide receivers, got his 2 tackles there. So I think Oregon's offense is going to be locked and loaded this season.
All right. Good stuff there on the Oregon Ducks here in summer scouting. Let's turn our attention to the SEC here. Let's go to the SEC.
Right, much over here, bro.
Hey, man, a lot of changes for both teams. Although the Longhorns they hit the portal, right, and they tried to really mitigate some of their losses to the NFL in this past draft class. Of course, we're all familiar with what Jaden Daniels did, along with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Let's talk about LSU. Let's start there. Much maligned defense. Of course, NFL talent still made its way into the league here. Of what comes back here or is added to the roster in 2024, who should we be paying attention to, Drew?
Well, we talked about it in a couple of these mock drafts that we had reacted to. Mocking the mock is Will Campbell and Emery Jones. Will Campbell has
defense, bro.
Defense. Oh, you said defense? What'd you say? Defense?
I promise you, I said defense.
I heard defense.
I promise.
Did you say? Oh,
I
I heard that,
promise,
My
man.
bad.
bro.
Well, you know
Everybody,
what it is, bro.
everybody watching her defense too, bro.
You know what? I heard defense, bro, and I completely ignored you, bro.
Yeah,
That's exactly what happened.
because,
that LSU
That's
defense
exactly
was
what
bad.
happened, bro.
It was bad last season.
because there's one
I'm just
player,
trying
bro.
to get the Harold Perkins conversation out of the way.
Oh, that's
bro.
what you were trying to get. That's it, bro. I was trying to save it for last, but I mean, we can talk about it. You know, my biggest thing, I think our biggest thing was we wanted him to rush the passer more. But when you watch the tape, I understand.
I thought the same
why
thing
they have him at linebacker, because if you just have him rushing the passer, I think you might be doing him a disservice. I think you might be doing his defense a disservice. The problem is that the defense is so bad that you like. I don't. What do we do with Harold Perkins? Like, everything around him is not good. So do we have him rush the passer, or do we have him drop back in coverage and play linebacker? Because I think he can do both. Really well. But this defense is so bad, I just don't know. But in terms of his skill set, that ability to cover guys down the football field, usually with the linebackers, they're usually good at, if they're dropping back in coverage, it's usually a zone thing or a man thing. Nah, B. He can do both. He can give you the man coverage, covering the tight ends, covering guys in the slot, because he's got the speed. Obviously, he's not the biggest guy. He'll lay hands on you, reroute guys, you know what I'm saying, control guys. He'll run the route with you, you know what I'm saying? And then you saw where he dropped back into coverage and was clean, watched the quarterback's eyes, squared up, jump, caught it, interception, man. That looked like something straight off of college football, right? So at 25 coming out. But and then his ability to come off the edge and rush the passer, man, is, I think we may have talked about this too, in terms of, with his size, do you always want him to come off the edge and play, rush the passer? Look at that. The squeeze. Just the, what's he going to do with that? Ain't nothing you can do with that, man. That's too, look at that. Nasty,
hey, man, put him in the A gap, bro.
Put him in the A gap, let him work.
Let him play linebacker. Let him play linebacker, and let him fire his gun from time to time. I think at the end of the day, that's what's going to have to happen. I don't think he's going to carry enough weight in order to be a full-time pass rusher. But to your point, when you really start to study him, because of course we were so hell bent on, dude, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, that freshman season.
Y'all off the freshman season. Clearly one of the best pass rushers in the country. Here you are defensively struggling, right? And you really take away, at least what we thought was we were taking away his superpower, but he can do it all, bro. He can do it all. And to me, it's just about picking your spots, right? To allow him to leverage his ability to get after the passes, pick your spots. But he's a second level defender at the next level, because of his ability, as you mentioned, Drew, to drop into coverage, play man, play in space, find the football. He's a special talent, bro. Perkins is a special talent. Absolutely.
Yeah, the first thing I asked right here is, what is he? Is he a linebacker, outside linebacker, edge? He's everything. He's all of that. Michael Parsons is the guy right now in the league that's doing everything. And I think Harold Perkins, he's not as big. Like, he got to put on some more weight. I have him here at 6'1", 220. So he can't be a edge rusher all three downs. And what he does in the pass game as an off-ball linebacker, turn his hips, locate the football, it's really well also. So, you got to have to pick your spots with him. Maybe on third downs, we rush him off the edge. First and second downs, off-ball linebacker, kind of like the Lego piece on that defense. Have an excellent change of direction ability. It's top-notch, man. His change of direction, his ability to accelerate and burst and get to the sideline. If you're doing zone read or like a toss to the running back, he's eating that up really quick, man. He's so fast. He's a blur out there. I have here, he's a twitchy pass rusher, can contort his body. He could change up his speeds as well to get to the quarterback. Versatile chess piece, comfortable dropping back into space. But he's also dynamic moving forward. So, a defensive coordinator got to figure this out. Like, we got to figure out what to do with Harold Perkins. We can't relegate him just for an edge rusher. We can't put him just as an off-ball linebacker. You kind of have to mix it up with him. High motor, all gas type of player. I think he's a run defender. I think backside run defender. I think he's good there. But because of his size, he can get engulfed if the play is coming at him. But backside, it's like Von Miller, man. He could chase that down and get to the opposite sideline because of how fast he is. And I said he's instinctive also when dropping back or moving forward. He's very instinctive football player, man. The areas of improvement I have here can get stronger. I think he can add like a bull rush. If he could get stronger and add a bull rush, man, he's gonna be next level, like a beast, man. Because I think that's his issue as a pass rusher. It's kind of like all speed, all twitch. It's no real power to his pass rushing game. And also I saw LSU take him off the field sometimes. I'm like, why is this guy off the field, bro? Like your defense ain't good, bro. And like Harold Perkins is missing series at a time. I didn't really understand that for LSU. And then also I saw plays where he gets his hands on the ball carrier, but wasn't able to bring them down. So I just think he had to break down a little better and get stronger. I think getting stronger is the key for him. He get it stronger, add some strength to his speed. I think he's going to be one of those guys at the next level, like, Pro Bowler after Pro Bowler, man. You just gotta get stronger though, man, because I see him miss some tackles and his pass rushing move right now to me is all speed.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get stronger. I think he needs to add some more weight to his frame, but I'm telling you, and shout out Surfile Player of Brooklyn, Dana checking in as well. Bro, I'm gonna say it, bro. You know. I mean, you can check the tape. It's all over the channel. I was very harsh on a certain linebacker who was touted as the next best thing, and his ability to blitz and play in space and so on and so forth. Jalen Smith, right? Of course, Jalen Smith suffered the knee injury, but I thought prior to that knee injury, I thought he was a little overhyped to begin with. This is what you thought Jalen Smith was going to be right here, bro. This is what you thought Devin White was going to be right here, bro. Right? And of course, we saw Devin White at times do it, turn it on, turn it off, whatever the case may be. I think he has it in him, bro. I think this is the one. If he can get up to 230, 235, man, add that strength as Headley mentioned, I'm good. I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking first off the ball linebacker off the board right here. You understand what I'm saying? I'm good with it. So want to continue to see him develop, fill out that frame a little bit. But despite our frustration with how he was deployed, considering the needs of LSU, his home, in all likelihood at the next level, will be off the ball linebacker. And he clearly has the ability to do it with the added benefit of being able to be a game changer in terms of rushing the passer. So, yeah, man, I'm all for it. Big fan of Harold Perkins Jr. Let's talk about those tackles.
Yeah, you got Drew. We got Will Campbell, the left tackle, and then you got Emory Jones Jr., the right tackle for LSU. And both of these guys were just thrown to the fire early on. They started as true freshmen, so they have a lot of experience. Freshman season, sophomore season, and these guys don't really miss snaps, especially Will Campbell. Will Campbell is he's like a thoroughbred, man. He's playing every snap, every game. He started as a true freshman, and I think both of these guys improved. Not even year to year. These guys improved game to game throughout the season. Statistically, Will Campbell's he only got 2 sacks. In 2 seasons there at LSU. And I think I like his hands. They're ready and patient in pass sets. He has the ability to stay in front of the pass rushers. Really good base and anchor and upper body strength. He's a really strong guy on the left tackle position. He has that size and athleticism that the NFL teams will covet. And I think he does a really good job of resetting his hands. Sometimes he gets beat initially, pass rushers, but him resetting his hands, I thought he did that really well. Area of improvement, I think he's a little bit upright out of his stance. I think he can play with a little bit better leverage. I've seen him on the ground a couple of times, so that's going to question his balance for me. And I think the quicker, twitchier edge can beat him with that crossover move and come back inside. Dallas Turner. When I watched that matchup against Dallas Turner, I was like, that Turner was kind of giving him some hell, man. That speed, that power, his ability to disengage. So that was one matchup I thought that he kind of lost that matchup. But like I said, man, he's getting better and better. And if he takes another step his junior year, I think the sky's the limit for him. He could be a top 10 guy if he takes that step.
Yeah, I talked about him when we was doing the mock and just watching him in terms of them feet, boy. I mean, he the first out of his stance, first to get back, drop that anchor, get that punch out. And I said, as long as the feet and the hands match, bro, wrap it up, put a bow on them. Doesn't matter who the edge, linebacker, corner, whoever's coming off of that edge, it's over. Put a bow on them boys. But again, when they don't match, you know what I'm saying, them hands either late or, he just doesn't get his punch out in time, especially for longer edge defenders. There's a little bit of there's some struggle there, right? But he doesn't have too much to work on, and I can understand why people have him as tackle one. I think Juice got a different guy, Texas.
Were you tackle one, bro?
Banks.
Okay.
Calvin Banks.
Talk about him.
Yes. But yeah, I can understand why you would have Will Campbell, and I think he's 6'6". Right, and so he got a little bit of he's 6'6". You're gonna have some leverage issues. That's just the nature of the position. That's unfortunate, but the advantage that he has, like Headley said, is he's got that upper body strength. You know what I'm saying? So he could withstand some things, slow some things down. Maybe the quarterback can get it off before he's hitting the ground, right, or they're hitting the quarterback. But yeah, man, he's not far off, man, and him and his counterpart, them boys came in on fire, had to go against, like you said, FSU. And it's been baptism by fire ever since, man. And they've essentially rose to the occasion, and have anything come their way, man. They've kind of handled it.
They're battle tested, bro, for sure.
Yeah. I kind of look at them as Joe Alt, Blake Fisher. What Notre Dame had last season, I think that's kind of what LSU has this season. Because I think Will Campbell is the guy, but Emory Jones on the right side. Like you said, experience in big games, but he's kind of the guy that plays through the whistle. He's the guy that has that finishing demeanor, really good push in the run game as a drive blocker. He can locate and land blocks at the second level. And he also has the ability to stay in front of pass rushers with base anchor and heavy hands. But, he has some technical stuff, kind of like we saw from last season from Blake Fisher at Notre Dame, man. He got to fix some of those technical stuff, dipping his head in the run game. Hand technique. He also struggles with his outside hand. And, he gave up some plays early on. I think he's getting better also. I think his feet can improve also in pass sets. It's just Will Campbell, I think, is ahead of him right now. But, he got some nastiness and some things like that teams will like also at the next level. And, he has another season to improve here in his junior year, man. These guys, like I said, they were throwing out their true freshmen. Handle your boy Patrick Paul and Jared Verse, man. And it was crazy that first game.
Peyton,
but
your boy Peyton.
Patrick Peyton. I call him Patrick Paul.
Yeah.
Patrick Peyton. That's an edge rusher to watch this year, Patrick Peyton.
Here we go. Nah, bro, we didn't talk about
that's a guy. That's a guy right there.
Nah, chill. I think a part of Emory's issues are he's just a little too aggressive. I think if he kind of dials that back, he can tighten up that technique. But I think a lot of he just wants to get out there, get his hands on his guy, and handle said guy. So you got the left tackle, which has a little bit more technique. A little bit more of a technician, and on the other side you have the more aggressive power guy, which I think if you were building an offensive line, I think that's probably how you would want it. From in terms of your technician on the left, and then a little bit more of a power aggressive player on the right hand side, and then you just refine the things that they necessarily aren't good at. So so I who's better though, Blake Fisher or Emory Jones Jr.?
Maybe Emory.
Maybe Emory. Damn, bro.
I don't know. We gotta see.
Okay.
This next season right here, 2024. Right. Yeah. Who you got?
Gotta see.
Okay, bro. Easy.
Okay, easy. And I got Joe Alt over Will Campbell right now. We'll see though.
We'll see. We shall see. Let's go to the skill positions. We set skill positions as if it doesn't require skill to play offensive line, but skill positions, a lot of talent, obviously cleared it. What remains? Who do we need to pay attention to?
I'm looking, bro. I don't know. I know they got Mason Taylor. They got
Mason Taylor, Kyron Lacy.
Kyron Lacy, the other guy. He was the third receiver last year behind Neighbors and your boy, what's his name? Brian Thomas Jr. So he's the guy this season. They got a couple transfers, so we'll see what they give CJ Daniels, Xavier, and Thomas. But it should be Kyron Lacy. It should be Kyron Lacy as a top receiver this season, and he can catch the football. He got yards after the catch ability, and he flashed. He flashed a couple times last season. He just didn't get as much balls because you know who was over there. But it should be his show this season.
Yeah, and they got the quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. Ain't no more Jaden Daniels running around back there. Not that Nussmeier can't move, but it's not to the level of Jaden Daniels, obviously. But it's a guy who's kind of a timing and rhythm quarterback, going to get the ball out. He's a guy who will actually throw guys open and give guys a chance to catch the football down the football field, even though they're covered. So hopefully, C.J. Daniels, Xavier Thomas, and Kyron Lacy can go up and get the football. We know that Mason Taylor can. Is that Jason Taylor's son? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm just checking. All right. Yeah, that's it.
I think obviously with kind of a different style of quarterback, it also creates some intrigue with respect to the tackles. Right, Campbell, Jones, in terms of the differences of the quarterback play creates different challenges in terms of protecting said quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out because, of course, they've had Jaden Daniels for the first 2 seasons of their respective careers at LSU. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm not sure what to expect from this LSU team. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's going to be good.
You don't think it's going to be good?
No more Jaden Daniels to save the day?
Well, I mean, it's another year to improve the team collectively, right? I think from just an offensive perspective, I can't imagine them being as explosive as they were, right? So you're going to have to play some damn defense. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to play some defense. So it was bad last year. But it was bad, though, bro. It's almost like you don't really have a lot of room to go anywhere else but up, I would think. But we'll see. Right. We'll see how it plays out because it's a very different landscape in college football, right? Keeping guys where they are. I mean, the fact that Harold Perkins is back, that's a win. You understand what I'm saying? Quite a few of these guys will go to greener pastures for one reason or the other, whether it's, opportunity to make a little bit more coin while they're in school or, some guys just want to be on a winning team and they see the likes of Jaden Daniels, Neighbors, Thomas, all these guys going pro. It's like, okay, what's coming in? What do we have to kind of replenish it? That's not looking quite right after early signing period. So then that transfer portal opens up. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it opens up in the summer. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, so it'll be interesting to see how things ultimately play out there. Another team that obviously was in the thick of things last year, they're trying to stave off the NFL and some talent that they've lost to the next level. It's the Texas Longhorns, man. I think this team should be in that conversation, right? Vying for another playoff spot here. They do bring back their quarterback, whom I have a lot of questions about. I'm intrigued to hear what you guys have to say about Quinn Ewers. But I want to start on the defensive side of the ball again. Is there anybody on this Texas team defensively that we need to key in on during the 2024 season?
Yeah, we got a couple of guys.
Yeah, I got a guy too.
Go ahead.
Well, Andrew Makuba, the transfer from Clemson. Mm-hmm. He's a guy to keep an eye on. But I didn't know much about him until I started watching him. But this Ethan Burke from Texas, I think he got some stuff to him. Oh, Dana's on it. Yeah, that Ethan Burke guy, I love the way he leads with his hands. He has an aggressive demeanor. He plays with an edge. He's one of those nasty physical guys, always playing with an edge. I do think he has the flexibility to fall back in coverage and tackle in space. He does his thing in the run game, man. A really good run defender. He can set that edge really well. He got that good length and size that NFL teams going to covet. So he got some stuff to him that I like. I think lack of pass rusher moves and counters. I think he needs to develop that. So we'll see if he develops that this upcoming season because he's a bit upright. He's not one of those bendy edges, but he gets there, man. And a name that popped in my mind by watching him, I know D-Kid's not going to like this name, but Lucas Van Ness for the Packers. That's kind of who when I was watching Ethan Burke.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the guy who they play the same position in Barron's, is it Sorrell?
Yeah,
Sorrell?
88.
Yeah, 88. Yeah, they was playing the same position, and just watching him, I think I'm gonna watch a lot more of his tape. But damn, you talking about Ethan Burke might be, them boys might be, you call it just usurping them boys this time, or just them boys taking each other's time. I don't know, but yeah, watching him, that man hands are nice, bro. You want to talk about being a potential pass rusher? I think I think we might be talking about he be the pass rusher and Burke be the run defender. I'm not sure of Burke's movement in terms of him dropping back. I like so as long as he can get back quickly, I think he's nice in pass coverage. But if he's got to have a delay or there's a little bit more thinking to it, I think he might struggle in that aspect of playing the position there. But in terms of getting upfield, getting to the getting in the backfield in terms of trying to get to that quarterback, I think he's got really good hands, nice bursts. He has good pace and variation in terms of kind of how he's, whether he's going to use his burst, but he's going to kind of slow play it. Then he's got a little bit of a plan, with his pass rushing. So maybe they use those guys just depending on down and distance, or maybe they get them both on the field, just opposite ends. I'm not sure how that's going to play out.
And Joy bringing up Trey Moore. He's a transfer from UCLA. I saw him flash a little bit, but he can't. He's coming from that UCLA tree, so hands,
what they produce.
The hands, bro. Probably nice. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on him, Joey. I'm gonna keep my eye on him. I'm gonna watch some more tape on Trey Moore.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna get a lot of. He I don't think he got a whole lot of work over there at UCLA, so I think he's gonna be able to shine here come this season.
So speaking of who our guys are, I'm gonna go, Dana, you can rock with me on the Jaden Blue. I was expecting what we saw from Jonathan Brooks last season from Jaden Blue, right? Jonathan Brooks got his opportunity and ran with it. Of course, they have Cedric Baxter, the really highly touted prospect last year, 5-star. But Jaden Blue is nice, bro. He is nice with it. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course, they're just kind of keeping that thing going among the running backs at Texas. Speaking of the offense, there's the Quinn Ewers guy. There's also my guy Kelvin Banks, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on him. Headley, Drew and I have talked about Banks and kind of where he stacks up in the pantheon of tackles. Do you view him as an interior guy? Do you like him at tackle? What are your thoughts there?
I like him at tackle. I was watching him. I think he has a good initial punch. He kind of stunned defenders with his punch, his pass pro punch. My bad, Joe. UTSA, not UCLA.
There you go.
UTSA transfer Trey Moore. Got some bad intel over here. But, Kelvin Banks, I like his ability in the run game to attach to defenders and hold the block. I think that's what he does really well. Once he gets locked up with guys, he kind of is really no escaping him. I don't think he's the most agile tackle, so maybe that's what you're talking about. Maybe move to the interior. But he does have the ability to stay in front.
Not me. Oh,
that's
what they said. Not me.
Not me.
That's OT1 for me right now, bro.
Okay.
That's what they saying out there.
I like him at tackle because he can stay in front of pass rushers when he's squared up. He's a good drive blocker in the run game. I think he's pretty agile in space at the second level. He has top end traits, the size, the length. He checks all of those boxes. I just need a little more refinement in his game. But good strength in his hands to hold up against power rushers, and he excels as a down blocker. So just more technically, I think he just developed a little more technically. Got some forward leaning. I think the hands are sometimes inconsistent. I think the balance can improve a little bit. So, it's some things to work on, man. It's like when I watched the tackles from last year's class, it's like it's hard to watch these tackles and try to compare them because I don't think,
come on, bro.
Although Banks is a good player and Will Campbell's a good player, I just don't think they're Joe Alt. I don't think they're
come on, bro.
I don't think, Fautanu, all of these guys, man. So, we'll see though. They get another year to prove me wrong, but I just don't think it compares, man. But these guys are they're good players though. Will Campbell and Banks.
No, I mean he's a solid player. Man. Again, everybody we talking about got things that they got to work on going into it, right? There's so, and I was kind of thinking where would he fall with the tackles that came out this past year, and And then I was like, nah, let's not do that to him, man.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, that's when you set him up. Because he'd be
Let's
like,
not do
OT,
that, man.
4, 5? What
Yeah.
did he do?
So that's not fair. But and I don't think anybody should expect this class to be as good as that class. That was a good class, a good strong class, man. That'd be unfair. But yeah, man.
Hey, Hadley, I actually got something for you to see right here for our
What's
viewers
that?
as well. But speaking of Jaden Blue, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna put it.
There we go.
Dana brought it up. So
That's your
Are
guy?
you stamping him? Hold on. First of all, is he a
Hold on,
5-star guy?
You stepping him?
No. He ain't
Stamp
a
him?
Okay.
5-star guy, bro.
You can't
Yeah,
stamp
I'll
him. He's
stamp him.
5-star though.
I'll stamp
Is
him.
he 5-star?
I'll stamp him. That's my guy. That's my guy.
No, is he
Yeah.
5-star though?
No. I don't think so. I'll confirm. I'll double check, but I don't think so. But I wanted Headley to see this. This Texas route right here during the spring game. Dana mentioned if yours struggles, do we see Arch Manning? You understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
Nice.
that's different right there.
Blue is
acceleration out
nice,
the
bro.
break.
I'm trying to
That
tell you,
acceleration out the
bro.
break, that's
I'm
different.
trying to tell you, bro. I thought it was gonna be him. When everybody was on Baxter, I thought it was gonna be it. But Brooks, Jonathan Brooks did his thing. You can't knock it. But Blue, keep an eye on him. I'm telling you, he's a good football player, bro. Nice football player right there, man. I want to talk about Isaiah Bond. You know what I'm saying? The transfer out of Alabama, the easy speed, the explosiveness. I mean, obviously, it's hard not to see Jalen Waddle when you watch him at Alabama with the 17. It's just difficult not to see that from him. He comes in to kind of help soften the blow, right? I know Texas has a lot of talent. They recruited well. Obviously, Sark has them humming there down in Austin, but you lose Adnan Mitchell, you lose Xavier Worth, you lose Jordan Whittington. It's a lot. Jatavian Sanders, it's a lot. It's a lot of pieces, that were kind of proven commodities that are no longer there. So they bring in Isaiah Bond in order to kind of help mitigate those losses. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on him.
Isaiah Bond. So I got quick pitch and short area quickness in and out of his breaks, easy speed to burn, tracks the ball very well down the football field. A guy can contort his body to adjust to throws. Now, I say that, but then I also can say I don't know if he's going to make that catch, right? So he's doing one thing well, just he may not come down with it if it's a little bit too hard of a difficulty, right? I don't know, I just doubled up there, but we don't go with it.
Hard of a difficulty. I like that, bro. Hard of a difficulty?
Hit a hard of a difficulty. That's what we're going with.
What?
I got
too hard. I'm gonna use that, bro. I like that.
Hey man, let's do it, bro. Let's see what I'm saying. So we do here on YouTube late at night. I was gonna say something else, but let me not go down that road.
Please don't, bro.
YouTube after dark. You doing YouTube after dark right now?
Please do not, bro. Oh man, it's a kids program. Kids are watching. All right. If you're gonna give him a free release, you're asking for trouble. He eats up space. He separates at the top of the route. Routinely works on being in the blind spot of the defender. So that talks about his understanding of what the defender's trying to do or what he's trying to do to the defender. He has no fear of the middle of the field, right? Talked about him winning the 50-50 balls in terms of contorting his body, trying to win those. He's not going to most likely not going to turn a poorly thrown ball into a catch. However, his speed and strength have not caught up to each other. So falls on first contact a lot. And then I got here, he's a reckless runner, bro. Like, I need you to be better, bro. I don't need you to be, I don't need you to be at the top with the ball in your hands in open space, but I need you to be a little bit more cognizant of defenders, bro, around you and stop. He's reckless, bro. It's sometimes it's scary, man. I'm like, yo, you gotta chill, bro. But he's coming into his own, and I think Texas is gonna do him justice because Juice, I know you like some Jalen Milroe, but there was a lot of passes. Like he should have done a lot more damage this past year than he did. And I think he, if Quinn Ewers is on it, I think this is a guy who can just be, like we said, the replacement for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
I do want to quantify that or clarify that. I'm a fan of Jalen Monroe because of the way he dealt with the adversity at Alabama.
Okay.
I make no misgivings about the work that he needs to do. He obviously improved as the season
He
went
did.
along, but he still has a lot of work to do. There's no question about that. I think he's going to be a very good. He's already developed into a very good college football quarterback. Whether or not he can really take his game to the level and be effective at the next level, that's the question mark there with Milroe, right? But yeah, considering the fact that they mothballed him, they threw dirt on the man. They put a bunch of scrubs out there, and then they went back to him. And instead of pouting or taking his ball or go home, he went out there and he performed. He gave Alabama an opportunity to win every week. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the mental toughness that he possesses. But yeah, still a lot of work. Needs a lot
yeah,
of polish as a passer for sure.
yeah. He does because I've seen what you're talking about, Drew. Where Bond was open and Milroy just missed him a couple of times. And Ewers had that same issue. Not so much last season, but a year before. He missed a lot of, especially Xavier Worthy deep down the field. I don't know how you missed Xavier Worthy, but he overthrew him sometimes. So, but I think that's something he's improved upon last season. So we'll see if he develops that relationship with Isaiah Bond. And you said it, Juice, is that he has that Jalen Waddle mold. It's hard not to see him. I think he wore number 17 also at Alabama, and it's that's some lofty goals to fill. I don't know if he'll ever be as good as Jalen Waddle, but when you squint your eyes and you kind of
Yeah.
look at him, you kind of
Mhm.
see that Jalen Waddle in him. Big playability, game changing speed and acceleration. That yak ability is bestial, man. His ability to get the ball in his hands, just get it in his hands, and he could take off. That acceleration. He has that return ability due to his open field prowess. And he doesn't lose speed on his vertical cuts, man. It's very few guys where they're running as fast down the field and they can cut on the dime and still not lose any speed and create more separation deep down the field. So that's what he does. So yours just got to put it on him, man. Put it on him, man, because he's going to beat a lot of guys deep this season. And I think he has inside outside versatility. Sometimes those smaller guys, you'll be like, okay, you're just inside guy, but I think he can live outside as well, man. I think he could do that as well at the next level. Areas of improvement, smaller statue, so lack of size is going to be a question mark for him. The contested catch situations, he's not going to really bring down many balls in contested catch situations, and hands in general. Just hands in general can improve, and then his catch radius is going to be limited as well. So just being a smaller receiver, those are like the knocks that you're going to always have. Unless you're special, you could be a small guy and still do all of that. But I think that's where Isaiah Bond needs to improve. But he's very dynamic, especially with the ball in his hands and deep down the field.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to this conversation regarding the trigger man here in Texas. Quinn, yours. What are your thoughts?
Man, when I watched him, I didn't like him at all in 2022. Like, I didn't like him at all. I thought 2023, I think he improved a little bit, but I just thought the anticipatory throws to the boundary was trash, man. No zip on the football. I saw him throwing to coverage a lot, and this is 2022. I'm talking about. There's a lot of flutter balls. I thought the decision making was bad. It was a play with Bichon wide open on a wheel route. He chose to check it down to Jatavian Sanders. He's at best when he can get the ball in his hands quickly in a rhythm, because the longer he holds, he does this thing where he holds the ball to the last second before making the throw, and it's not conducive at the next level. Those are interceptions at the next level, and that's the inaccuracy when pressure is coming. I just wanted to be more consistent, to stay in the pockets, staring down the barrel and delivering. But 2023, a little different story, especially the Alabama games. The 2022 Alabama game and the 23 Alabama game were totally different. The 23 Alabama game, he was hitting guys in stride. He's connecting on those deep balls to Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, and those guys. Used different arm angles to get the ball out. Those inconsistent deep throws, like I said, he was starting to make those a little more. He was climbing the pocket, but we'll see, man, because 2022 I didn't like. 2023 I thought they improved. So we'll see with 2024, because all that talk about top 10 guy, number one quarterback, I haven't seen it yet. So maybe he could prove me wrong in this 2024 year.
Yeah, he ain't gonna have no free arch. he ain't gonna have no choice because Arch Manning is gonna be pushing him, and he's been pushing him. He's gonna continue to push him, and it's possible because this team is so good that it might be a short leash for him. I'd imagine that maybe they give him every chance they can, but that well, not to say a short leash, but it may be a shorter leash than before, right? Because there is someone behind him who's actually had a good spring. Not sure how the summer's going, but assume we'll figure that out and find that out. But yeah, watching. How do you say it? Yours? I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Okay, I said it right because I'll be making stuff up sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, reading what's not there. Reading too fast, man. I'm a skimmer, bro. You know how I do it.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's get through it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a believer, bro. And as you said, he's gonna have to show me too. It's like to me, his biggest games is when it's versus Bama, right? Go watch. It's versus Bama, and then it's versus Ducks. And I don't mean the Oregon Ducks. I mean Ducks. But everything else, you kind of just wondering, like, I think his biggest issue for me is a couple things. One is I want to see more anticipatory throws. When he does it, it's beautiful. And it might be at the top in terms of all the quarterbacks in the country, but I don't see it enough. I hear, like you were saying, to me, he's still holding on to the ball a little too long because I think he's just one of those things. I want to see it before I throw it, but in the league, that's not how that works, man. You got to get the ball out. You got to get it out on time. Sometimes you got to get it out a little bit earlier because of depending on the receiver, the route, the combination in terms of the coverage that you're going against. And he's not comfortable doing that consistently, right? And then when you talk about going down the seam, the ball, brother, you too big for the ball to be floating out of your hands, man, down the football field. I need it to be on a line. I need to see the zip, and I don't see that consistently. So the ball hangs up for guys to have to stop, slow down, and then have to go up and get the football versus just lead your guy, right? Just let him go and get it. So I'm not sure what the issue with that, what's going on there. But there will be no excuses. I know you lost some receivers, but there will be no excuses this year, right? So we talked about Isaiah Bond. You could talk about Matthew Golden from, where's he from? I forgot where he's from Houston. That boy, who he remind me of? Them feet remind me of Chad Johnson, bro. I'm gonna leave it there in terms of that release. And then you got Silas Bolden. He's all of. Let's say right?
Yeah.
Silas Bolden. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you just said Silas. That man 5'8", 157, bro. I don't even know if he's 157, and I don't think he's 5'8", bro. Right? Might be 5'6", 150, bro. But that you want to talk about? I know we talked about Tez Johnson. This guy right here. You want to talk about stopping on the dime and giving you 9-cent change? You want to talk about making somebody look silly? Calling him the human joystick, the movements, bro. This guy's movements. He's not a big target, but he will go up and get the football, man. So you got speed all over the place. I want to add one more guy who we haven't talked about in 2-3 years because he can't. I guess he's always injured, man. Where's he at? Is he not? Where's he at?
I don't think he's on the team no more. You talking about the safety?
You know what I'm talking about.
Catalan.
Right? Oh, he in?
Catalan, right?
No, not Catalan. No.
The other
another
one.
receiver.
The other,
you're talking about receiver. Oh, your boy
Neymar
from Michigan State. Is he Michigan State?
Nah, he's from what's it, Wyoming?
I'm confusing him. I know you're talking about though.
I don't think he's on the roster anymore. I thought he was still here, but I guess he's not. All right, I'll leave him off, man. Can't talk about him.
Didn't Catalan come back though?
Yeah, he's on there. He's on there.
He's on the team still?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see him on the depth chart.
I thought I saw him on there. Let's see, Catalan's still on there. Maybe not.
Maybe transferred again. But yeah, we got two DBs. Makuba, like I said, a transfer from Clemson, kind of played all over the football field there. Really good change of direction ability. He come up playing the slot. Got that closing speed. He triggers downhill really well. I think tackling and play strength. I think Makuba could improve there. But he's like Duke game last season. He was extremely active in that game. Does an excellent job on those drag routes, plays across the middle, closing speed. Man, that's kind of his game. And I got Jade Barron.
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 To me, he's like a hybrid safety slot. He kind of plays closer to the line of scrimmage, triggers quickly downhill. He has that aggressive nature. He'll come up and hit. And, that's what he does. He likes to come up and hit. Also, I think he's comfortable against tight ends. I think the twitchier wide receivers, I think the hips are a little bit too tight for those guys. But I think tight ends, he'll be fine. I think he's got good instincts and awareness to sniff out like the screen game. He works his way really well through traffic to the ball carrier. It's a hard-hitting DB, man. He's more of a zone guy with that instincts. Just man coverage at the next level, I think that's where he'll struggle. But him and Makuba are two guys to watch in that secondary.
And I think Makuba played for Clemson. He played corner starting out when he started over there for Clemson. Then he kind of, just like you said, moved all over the place to nickel, safety, kind of that moving piece within the defense. So I think it was a really, really good addition for them boys to add there. And
you found Catalon?
So no, I guess he's not on here. No, I guess not. He out of there.
I gotta check on that one. I gotta check on that one.
That boy can't stay healthy, man. Save his life, though.
It's health. So maybe he banged himself out, man. I don't know.
Banged himself out, bro. That's what he doing over there.
Out of the league, bro.
YouTube after dark, bro. Let's go.
Boy.
I just want to give kind of final thoughts on Quinn Ewers. Bring it back kind of full circle. You guys said it. There was an improvement from 2022 to 2023. Obviously, that's encouraging. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Not to say that Texas doesn't have talent. It's just a lot of their talent on the perimeter isn't necessarily proven. You understand what I'm saying? Outside of Bond, really, truly proven, right? You've had Adonai, you've had Worthy, you've had Whittington, you've had Sanders, right? And then a stable of backs on top of that. Experienced offensive lineman. I think you're still going to have a pretty good offensive line, but he just hasn't met the expectations. What I saw of Quinn Ewers coming out of high school, the ball jumped out of his hand, right? You saw the zip, but in game you don't see it, bro. Those passes take entirely too long to reach their destination. You understand what I'm saying? And that's setting aside, processing, anticipatory throws, all of that. It's just everything. He doesn't understand. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability, but he doesn't understand when it's appropriate to take something off of it or to add pace to it. That's a problem. That's a problem. Like you have to have that innately. You have to understand when I need to put some extra sauce on it, or throw the change up. You understand what I'm saying? And if everything is a change up, then you're gonna struggle at the next level. You have limitations, which means you have to be that much better, right, in terms of processing post snap. And I don't know that he's that player. I don't know that he's that cerebral field general that can manipulate defenses, get everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So. We've entered this era of teams are willing to bet on traits. They're willing to bet on traits, and the thought process when you're a 5-star quarterback, the difference between a 4-star and a 5-star is inherent physical traits, bro. That's the difference in those ratings, right? And of course, those ratings don't necessarily account for work ethic and working at your craft, diligence. The way you take care of yourself, the way you continue to progress, doesn't take that into account. It looks at, okay, this body type or this skill set, does it invoke NFL, right? Does NFL come to mind? Because a 4-star, for that matter, can be every bit as talented as a 5-star. In some cases, more talented than a 5-star. But he doesn't necessarily look like an NFL player just yet. right? He still has some more development that he has to go through. He may never necessarily get that body type or have those innate types of traits. So the expectations obviously were very high. And while, you know, he's managed, especially this past season, to do enough to matriculate the football down the field, get the ball to the playmakers, and of course they made a run there in the college football playoffs, you just don't see what you would expect out of a highly touted quarterback prospect, right? Especially when you have that kind of talent around you. You just don't see it on a consistent basis. So to me, best case scenario is that, you know, year 3 as a starter, you're able to put it all together. You become the man. You become the man now. It's not necessarily you being the point guard per se or the facilitator, but you become the man. You start throwing guys open. You start pushing the football down. We start to see the zip, the pace on the football, getting up and down inside of that cover 2 zone or whatever the case may be. That's the best case scenario. I think certainly if he's able to take another incremental step, that will help him. But that doesn't suggest first round pick, which in many instances he's being mocked as a first round quarterback. And I'm with you both. I've gone on record. I don't see it, bro. He got to show me. He's got to show me. You understand what I'm saying? Because we've gotten pretty far removed from that 5-star billing at this point. We've watched the tape, we've seen the games. I don't see a 5-star quarterback, bro. I don't. So we'll ultimately see how it plays out in 2024. All right. So that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for our summer scouting. Whoa.
One guy.
Who else?
Just got another guy.
Just one guy, man. It's quick, bro. It's quick. Amari Niblack, the tight end. He's got the same. I think it's the same height. It's about 8 to 10 pounds lighter than Jatavian Sanders. So I think that's another weapon we can talk about, or we can look out for.
Tight ends.
Come from Alabama too.
Mason Taylor.
Transfer.
I like Mason Taylor. I do like Mason Taylor out of LSU. So, there's some intriguing tight end prospects in this class.
Yeah,
there are some intriguing prospects for sure. All right. I think that does it. Am I good to close it out now, Drew? Is it okay?
Yeah, that was. I mean, we got 6 more guys I can go through, but we good, man. Go ahead.
That's gonna do it for summer scouting for the Oregon Ducks, LSU Tigers, and Texas Longhorns. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. We'll be back next Friday with another trio of teams. We'll probably work in a mock draft reaction. I know I mentioned a couple weeks ago we were going to get into the PFF 2025. I really want to hear what D-Kid has to say, how much he hates the selections that are being made or how much he loves it. It's always very entertaining for me. So we'll get back into that, mix it up here, break up the monotony a little bit. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going, keep grinding here on our summer scouting, working through this tape. And of course, I've teased it before. And we are getting very, very close to the launch of our Patreon. So be on the lookout for that. Going to have some intriguing, interesting offerings there. So it's certainly going to be worth the price of admission. All right. So for Headley, Drew, this is Juice. Thanks, everyone. We'll get you guys next week, Friday.